cars in California go together, at least they always have. Most of the trends in hot rodding and the car hobby, no matter what part of it is, Southern California is the hotbed where all the ideas come from. This is pretty much the center of the car universe, I think. Always been an interest in cars, I guess. I like the work of expressing yourself with the mechanics and the design if you change it, and I like meeting the people and talking to the people at the shows and sharing ideas and being able to help someone else if they have a question, and learning from other people that have been in it for years and years and are real experts in every area you can imagine. I think when my generation was growing up, that was it. You know, all my friends had cars. We all had a lot of fun with it, and felt like we were hot rodders anyway. Well, this is a '68 Firebird that I've had for about 6 years, and about 5 years ago I completely tore it apart, replaced everything. All the drivetrain, suspension, brakes, everything that actually operates is either new or rebuilt. 1970 455 Pontiac motor. I've converted it over to a Richmond 5-speed aftermarket transmission, and I run a Ford 9-inch rear end to handle the torque. I've had it for about 5 years now. I've driven it to Panama City Beach, Florida in the Hot Rod Power Tour in the year 2000. This is a great driving car, and I put a good many thousand miles on it. The great thing about this car is that it's as reliable and has the performance of a modern high-performance car and reliability, but it's an old one. You drive by in a Corvette, somebody might wave at you or something, but if you drive by in one of these, everybody looks and wants to tell you what you've got a nice car. Last year in April we did a photo shoot for Popular Hot Rodding. In the August issue, I think it was, we ended up with the cover and a center fold and a nice feature story too, so we got a lot of coverage. My dad was kind of into cars a little bit, and all my friends were into cars at the time, and I've always wanted to have something to do with the automotive industry. I started out to become a automotive journalist, in fact, and wrote an article for Hot Rod magazine way back about 1967.
Pontiac GTO is basically the first muscle car ever made. It was basically a brainchild of John DeLorean. They were basically fooling around in John DeLorean's garage one day, and they had the Le Mans up on a lift, and one guy thought that they could put a real big engine in it, and that was basically the inception of the muscle car, where you had a medium-sized car and you put a really big engine in it. I've always been into Pontiac. My very first car was a Pontiac Tempest in 1962. I bet I've always had a love for Pontiacs, and when this one finally came available to me, I snatched it up. It pretty much had the paint job on that you see now, but it needed the engine rebuilt, interior work, and a few things, and I've got all that done now. And then 455 high-output engine in it, pushing probably around 400 and some horsepower at this point. Turbo hydromatic transmission, positive traction rear end. In 1972, they made 10 of these, 10 coupes, which this is, with the big engine, the 455, so this is one of 10 in 1972. Everybody that knows me probably thinks I'm a little obsessed with this car, as I'm very anal with it. Don't like to have anybody near it, touching it. I think you'll find all car people pretty much the same way.
I'm into old Pontiacs. This car I restored. It's a nut and bolt restoration, and it's like my pride and joy. Took it into a million pieces and made it what it is today. Had a love for it, and I do this on the side. I kind of, as a hobby, I spend a lot of time in the garage, and keeps me out of trouble. This car's got the 287 Strato Streak V8 engine. It was the first V8 engine that was built by Pontiac in 1955. It's got the hydromatic 3-speed transmission. It just drives like a dream. Everything on it's new. I pulled the engine out, restored everything back to original. I spent a lot of time on the car, and she tells me I have OCD, obsessive compulsive disorder, when it comes to my car, because I have to make it just right. You know, it has to be perfect or it's not good enough. But That's the way it is in the car hobby, you know. It's not really the big competition thing. It's just the nicer it is, the more it is to keeping the car as original as possible to me, and just making it a beautiful work of art. It's a good feeling, you know. It's like they say when you get behind the wheel and all of a sudden you feel like you're 18 again. It definitely is a good feeling. I enjoy it every time I drive it. A lot of people get big smiles on their face whether I'm driving it or whether I'm at a show, you know. They really like it. Most of my life since I was 16, I was into cars. I've had just lots of cars. Now I love it more than ever. I just it's very relaxing doing the work on the cars and the enjoyment you get out of seeing them when they're done, and then the conversation you have with people, and it's just a great hobby. You know, a lot of people are missing out if they're not in it because it's a really fun thing to be doing.